Welcome to my live teaching learning session of Indian Economy BECE 146. Today we will discuss about agriculture sector, which is in block 2 unit 5. Under this unit we will discuss about the role of agriculture sector in India and introduction of green revolution in India. Next topic is impact of green revolution. Next, we will discuss about problems of Indian economy, problems of Indian agriculture, and relationship between agriculture and industrial sector. As you know that in each and every economy, there are three sectors exist. One is primary sector, second is secondary sector, and third is tertiary sector. Primary sector is called agriculture sector. Primary sector is that sector in which agriculture and its allied activities are included, like agriculture farming, fishing, mining, and quarrying, etc. In secondary sector, this secondary sector is known as industrial sector. In secondary sector, we include all types of industries. Either it may be small scale industries, cottage industries, large scale industries, big industries, medium sized industries, which converted raw material into finished goods. That is called secondary sector. And third sector is related with services. That's why the sector name is service sector. In service sector, we include all types of services like banking, insurance, transportation, communication, shipping corporation, etc. So in each and every economy, three sectors play very important role. Primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. Today we will discuss about first sector, which is called primary sector or agriculture sector. So what is the meaning of this agriculture sector and what is the role of this agriculture sector? We will discuss about this and what problems agriculture sector face and what is the meaning of green revolution and green revolution impact. It may be favorable or may not be. We will discuss about all the impacts of green revolution, either it is favorable for the economy or unfavorable, and what problems Indian agriculture have to face, and what is the relationship between agriculture and industries. So let us start from first topic, meaning of agriculture. What is the meaning of agriculture? Agriculture can be defined as the cultivation and or production of crops, plants, or livestock products. In agriculture sector, we include agriculture farming like crops, non-food crops, crops may be food crops or non-food crops, and we include crops, plants or livestocks. Livestocks in this animal husbandry, fishing, and other horticulture and other products we include in agriculture sector. So this is the meaning of agriculture sector, in which we can define as the cultivation and a production of crop, plants or livestock products. That is agriculture sector. Next is introduction. As you know that agriculture play very important role in Indian economy. Agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy. Agriculture is the most important occupation for most of the Indian families. At the time of independence, near about 72% people were engaged in agriculture sector. But at present, more than 50% country people are still engaged in agricultural activities. So agriculture is the main source of occupation. In India, agriculture provide larger employment opportunities to the country people. So agriculture is the most important occupation for most of the Indian families. In India, agriculture contributes about 16 or 17% of total GDP and 10% of total exports. At the time of independence, the greater and more contribution was of agriculture sector in GDP. It was more than 50% or near about 55%. But at present, its contribution in total GDP is 16%, which is also very higher if we compare the contribution of India's in GDP of agriculture sector in GDP and other developed nations. So other developed nations only contribute agriculture sector in GDP is only 1% or 2% or 3% or less than 10%. But in India, agriculture sector contributes 16% in total GDP, which is very higher than other nations. That's the reason India secured second position worldwide in terms of farm product or output. About 75% people are living in rural areas. At present, near about 70% people are living in rural areas and 30% people are living in urban areas. So about 75% people are living in rural areas and are still dependent on agriculture sector. About 43% of India's geographical area is used for agricultural activity. So this is the base of this agriculture sector that you must know about what is the meaning of agriculture sector and what is the contribution of agriculture sector in Indian economy. So in Indian economy, agriculture sector is called the backbone of Indian economy. Without backbone, we can't stand, we can't sit. That and same role play agriculture sector. Agriculture is the basis of industrial sector and service sector. Without agriculture sector, our economy can't run smoothly because agriculture is that sector which provide means of earning, means of livelihood and food for survival. Agriculture contribute in exports also, and agriculture provide employment opportunities to the country people, and it is the most important occupation for most of the Indian families. That's why we can say that agriculture is very important sector in Indian economy. In each and every country, but Indian economy, it is called the backbone of Indian economy. Next is importance of agriculture sector. What is the importance or what is the role of agriculture sector in Indian economy? You know that all human beings need food for survival. We can't survive without food. And who provide food? Agriculture sector. Agriculture provides food for all human beings. So all humans depends on agriculture sector for food, which is necessary for survival. Next is urban industrial societies also depends on the basis of food surplus generated by farmers and herders. You know that 30% people are living in urban areas and 70% people are living in rural areas. And urban industrial societies depend on the base of food surplus, which is generated by farmers and herders. Without agriculture, there could be no cities, no universities, factories, or offices. Because without agriculture, when agriculture will not exist in our country, then we can't get food for survival If we can't survive without food, then what is the meaning of this university, factories, or offices or cities? No role of these things will exist without agriculture. So, without agriculture, there could be no cities, universities, factories, or offices. Today, agriculture remains the most important economic activity in the world. Agriculture employs 45% of working population, only 2% in US, but in India more than 50% of the country people are still engaged in agriculture sector for employment. But in US and other developed nations, only 2% or 3% or less than 1% people are engaged in agricultural activities. But in India, it's a very larger part. More than 50% of the country population engaged in agriculture sector. That's why we can say that in India, agriculture, here is the predominance of agriculture sector in Indian economy. In some parts of Asia and Africa, over 80% of the labor force is engaged in agriculture, in which India is also play very important role, because in India, uh, more than 50% of the country people engaged in agriculture or depend in agriculture sector for their livelihood, for their employment. Next is importance of agriculture. We can explain with the help of these points. Agriculture refers to the raising of crops and livestock by man to produce useful commodities. Agriculture provides raw material to the industrial sector, and industrial sector can convert raw material into finished goods, which is also necessary for our livelihood. So, agriculture refers to the raising of crops and livestock by man to produce useful commodities. It is an economic activity because it generates income, and the most basic of all. Agriculture is the base of industrial sector, and agriculture is also the base of service sector. So all these three sectors are interconnected or interlinked with each other. Without agriculture, industrial sector can't grow, and without the development of industrial sector, service sector can't grow. So all these secondary and tertiary sector are depends upon agriculture sector. That's why we can say that agriculture sector is the most basic of all. Agriculture provides food which is necessary for our survival. It provides raw material for industrial sector, and two-thirds people are engaged in various forms of agriculture all over the world. It is a way of life. Agriculture land occupies 33% of the earth land surface, 11% cropland, and 22% pasture. Next is farms products are very important element in world trade. India basically exports agricultural products like fish, tea, coffee, jute, cotton, ready-made garments, and agricultural products, crops, food crops, etc. So farm products are very important element in world trade. Many countries can't produce enough food for their own needs. So agriculture sector in India play very important role. Its importance can be explained that it provides larger employment opportunities to the country people. Second is it is necessary for our survival because it provides us food which is necessary for our survival. Without food, we can't survive. It provides raw material to the industrial sector. It provides uh, help and it provides it's a basis of uh, increase in service sector and growth of service sector, and all these sectors are interconnected with each other. Agriculture is the main sector which is necessary for overall development of the country, and agriculture play very important role in exports also. Near about 11% exports are mainly done by agriculture sector. So agriculture is very important sector in Indian economy. Next is what factors affects agriculture sector. What are the factors which are responsible for the low productivity of agriculture sector? Why in agriculture sector, which play very important role, but still agriculture productivity remains lower? And what are the main causes behind this, or what factors affects agriculture sector? Now, the first factor which affects agriculture sector is small and fragmented land holdings. In India, there are land area is very small and divided into small pieces, and in India, here land area is fragmented or scattered land area. Due to scatteredness of the land area or small piece of land area, no one good crops can produce, because if we want to produce more and more crops, then we need larger area for food, for producing crops, etc. If we have small piece of land area, we can't use tractor we can't use tractor, threshers, harvesters, or mechanizations, and without using these technologies or machines, we can't grow crops in a good way or in a rapid rate. So this is the main problem, that here small and fragmented land area exists in India. That's why here the productivity of the agriculture sector is still very low. Second is agriculture sector, which is mainly dependent on monsoon. In India, agriculture sector is known as gamble of monsoon. You know that agriculture is the natural uh, natural occupation. Agriculture sector depends upon nature, and nature may be favorable or may not be. If nature is favorable, then crops will be good, and if nature is unfavorable, if any natural calamities like flood and drought or cyclone entered in the economy or exist in the economy, occur in the economy, then crops will be damaged and agriculture will affect badly. So agriculture depend upon monsoon, and it is known as gamble of monsoon, and it's a natural phenomena and it's a natural occupation. So that's why agriculture productivity remains lower, because there is not always mm, existence of good rainfall. Rainfall may be good, may be bad. So if there is a heavy rainfall, then all the crops will be damaged, and if there is a very good rainfall, then crops will be in bumper production. So production may be in bumper quantity and may be in deficient. It depends upon monsoon. Next is lack of international competitiveness of its produce. There is no competition with rest of the world in agriculture sector. That's why if there is no competition, then producers will not encourage, will not motivate to produce more and more products, and product will not be more quantitative or qualitative. So there is a lack of international competitiveness. That's why agriculture production remains lower. Fourth point is inadequate availability of electricity, fertilizers, irrigation facilities, and pesticides. There is a lack of or improper availability of electricity, because you know that 70% people are living in rural areas, and more than 50% of the country people are engaged in agricultural activities. And in rural area, there is still a problem of electricity generation, and there is a problem of power supply, and there is a problem of good fertilizers availability, and irrigation facilities also not properly available in each and every rural areas. Pesticides are not available due to inadequate availability of electricity, fertilizers like nitrogen, potassium, phosphate, and irrigation facility like tube wells, and pesticides, which is necessary to kill pests or insects. If these facilities will not be available, then crop will not be in a good way. So, inadequate availability of electricity, fertilizers, irrigations, and pesticides are also responsible for lowering the agricultural production. Next is poor access to of the farmers to good roads, market infrastructure, refrigerated transportation of goods. If there is a lack of infrastructural facilities in rural areas, then how agricultural farmers can sell their crops in the market? And if there is no facility of roads, no market infrastructure is built up, and refrigerated transportation of goods are not available, then uh, farmers can't sell their crops in the market. And if they can't sell their crops in the market, they will not get good amount of their crops, and they will not encourage to produce further more crops. That's why agriculture production still remains lower due to poor access of the infrastructural facilities. Next is conversion of agriculture land for residential and other land use purposes. If there is a lack of agricultural land area, and if there is a conversion of agricultural land area for residential purpose and for other purposes like factories, if agriculture land area is using for making more and more industries, for establishing industrial sector, for establishing residential sectors or residential purpose, then agricultural land area will fall or will decrease, and in this case agriculture production will also fall. So conversion of agriculture land for residential and other purposes is also responsible for the lower production in agriculture sector. So these are the factors which affects agriculture sector. Next is the overview of agriculture. India has achieved record food grains production of 275.11 million tons during 2016 and 17, and 300 million tons of fruits and vegetables. In 2016 or 17, India has achieved record food production, food grains, and fruits and vegetables also 300 million tons of fruits and vegetables, and 275.11 million tons of food grain. 48% of the India's population dependent on agriculture. It may be fluctuated. Sometimes it may be more than half, and it may be, but at present near about more than half of the country people are dependent on agriculture sector. Around 41% of gross value added of this sector based on livestock products, forestry, and fisheries. According to the census of 2011, 54.6% of the population is engaged in agriculture sector and its allied activities like fishing, quarrying, mining, animal husbandry, etc. And it contributes 17% to the country's gross value added or GDP, gross domestic product, current price 2015-16 and 2011-12 series. So this is the overview of agriculture. Still agriculture faced so many problems, but now agriculture sector is growing and giving more contribution in food grains and giving more contribution in GDP, and agriculture is also very important sector for international trade. International trade, it gives contribution near about 11%, and after the introduction of green revolution, agriculture sector grow. But before a green revolution, agriculture sector was called backward sector and stagnant sector. Agriculture sector was really very poor sector at the time of independence. But after introduction of green revolution, agriculture sector uh, will agriculture sector have grown. Next is types of agriculture farming. There are so many types of agriculture farming like shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation means the plot of land is cultivated temporarily and abundant when it loses fertility. So we can shift the cultivation if a plot of land area is cultivated temporarily and abundant when it loses fertility, then we can shift the cultivation. It means we can shift that land area to another land area. If land area is not fertile, then we can move to fertile land area for cropping. Next is subsistence farming. Subsistence farming is that farming in which farmer grow crops only for their own or self production. A farmer grows only to feed his own family or only for their own subsistence or only for their own survival. That is called subsistence farming. Third type of farming is intensive farming. Intensive farming characterized by high input of capital, labor, fertilizers, pesticides related to the land area. Increases crop production, but also it damages the environment. So farming may be intensive and farming may be extensive. Intensive farming is that farming in which we use high inputs. Inputs are like land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. So high inputs of capital, labor, fertilizers and pesticides related to the land area, that increases crop production but also damages the environment. And next and last form of agriculture farming is extensive farming. Extensive farming, in this type of farming, we use low input of materials and labor to pressure the ecological balance so that the land can be farmed indefinitely. So this is called extensive farming in which we use low input of materials and give more pressure to labor for the production of crops and to preserve the ecological balance so that the land can be farmed indefinitely. So these are the different types of farming, in which first is shifting cultivation and second is subsistence farming, third is intensive farming, and fourth is extensive farming. These are four types of agricultural farming. Next is green revolution. What is the meaning of green revolution? And how green revolution uh, origin originated in India, and what are the main causes behind the occurrence of green revolution? Green revolution, the term green revolution is a general one that is applied to successful agricultural experiments in many third world countries. It is not specific to India, but it was most successful in India. In India, Green Revolution introduced at the time period of 1966, because after independence, India was still dependent for food grains on developed nations. India imported food grains from America under the agreement of PL 480, and America sell their inferior quality of wheat to the Indian people because India has a lack of agricultural production. That's why India had to import food grains from developed nations, and mainly India imported food grains from America under the agreement of PL 480. But at the time of when India and Pakistan war was started at the time of 1965, then America refused to give food grains to Indian country. At that time, India realized that if America will not provide us food grain, then our country people could not survive. Then Green Revolution introduced in India at the time of 1966, and in this green revolution is called New Agricultural Strategy. And green revolution is also known as packaging of all agricultural inputs. In this green revolution, government mainly focuses on those agricultural inputs which used for the agriculture production. Government mainly emphasized that all agricultural inputs used by the farmer in a packaging way or in a combined way, so that agriculture production should increase and India should become uh, independent in agriculture sector. So the world's worst recorded food disaster happened in 1943 in British ruled India, known as the Bengal famine, and estimated 4 million people died of hunger that year alone in eastern India, that included today's Bangladesh. So green revolution is the main uh, foundation of the Indian economy, and it's a great uh, it play very important role in Indian economy because after green revolution and after the introduction of this green revolution, India become independent in food grains. But before that, India was dependent for food grains on developed countries. So, green revolution is the term given to the introduction of high yielding varieties of seeds, which is known as HYV seeds, and increased use of fertilizers and irrigation, which provided the increase in production needed to make India self sufficient in food grains, thus improving agriculture sector in India. It was brought to India by the initiative of Indian government. Genetically modified high-yielding wheat was first introduced to India in 1960 by Dr. Norman Borlaug. It is also rightly credited to M.S. Swaminathan and his team who contributed towards the success of Green Revolution in India. Major components of green revolution are development of high yielding varieties of seeds, cereal grains, expansion of irrigation facilities, infrastructural facilities, modernization of management, technically development, distribution of hybridized seeds, synthetic fertilizers in which nitrogen, potassium, and phosphate, which is known as NPK, and pesticides, use of pesticides to the farmers. So, all these agricultural inputs are included in this green revolution strategy because agricultural inputs are like irrigation, good quality of seeds and fertilizers, machines like tractor, thresher, harvester, and pesticides. our insecticides, because in India, near about 30% of the crop were damaged by pests or insects. To protect the crops from pests or insects, government should promote to use pesticides or insecticides so that crop can increase in bumper quantity. So all these steps were taken by the government during the time period of 1966 in Green Revolution. The main components of Green Revolution are: number one is continued expansion of farming areas. In Green Revolution, first of all, government increase or continued expansion. Government expand the area of farming area so that good more and more crops can produce, and we can overcome the problem of lack of agricultural production, and can we can become the more independent in agricultural production. Next is double cropping existing farmland. In this green revolution, double cropping existing farmland also used by the farmers. Next is HYV seeds. It's not HIV, it is HYV seeds. H is high, Y is yielding, V is variety. High yielding variety of seeds should be used for the increase in agricultural production. Next is increased in agricultural facilities. More and more facilities provided by the government to the farmers, which is necessary for increase in agricultural production. Next is chemical pesticides and germicides to prevent pests, germs, and diseases. Chemical herbicides and weedicides to prevent fertilizers not being consumed by herbs and weeds. Easy and cheap availability of credit also provided by the government. Government started uh, institutional source of finance which provides easy and short term, medium term, and long term all type of loans and advance facilities to the farmer at a very low rate of interest, so that farmer can afford all these high yielding variety seeds and purchase fertilizers and afford all these agricultural inputs which are necessary for the increase in agricultural production. Next is improvement of the storage facility. Government also provides storage facilities or godowns facilities to the farmers so that farmer can keep their agriculture production in godowns for the time being of the market sale. Next is development of marketing facilities and distribution channels also introduced by the government, and the chain of intermediaries, government reduce that chain so that farmer can get maximum benefit from their crops and encourage to produce more and more crops. Next is improvement in the transportation facility. Government also increase infrastructure facilities like roads, transportation, banking, insurance, communication, and also increase transportation facilities so that farmer can sell their crops in urban areas and in market, those market where they can get good price for their crops. So all these are the components of green revolution. The main features of green revolution in India are: one is introduction of new and high yielding variety of seeds. High yielding variety of seeds, which is very necessary for increase in agriculture production. Before the introduction of green revolution, India mm, India imported these HYV seeds from Mexico, which was very expensive or at a very higher price. India has to pay very higher price for importing these HYV seeds. But after introduction of green revolution, India independent on this high yielding variety of seeds, and India made these types of seeds so that increased use of these high yielding variety seeds and fertilizers and pesticides and weedicides in order to reduce agriculture losses. Increased application of fertilizers. in order to enhance agriculture productivity. So these are the main features of a green revolution. Green revolution is also known as packaging of all the agricultural inputs. If we use all the agricultural inputs in a packaging way, in a combined way, then definitely agriculture production will increase, and green revolution give more and more benefit to the farmers and in agriculture production. After the introduction of green revolution, India become independent in food grains, and still now India is independent on food grains. Next is effects of green revolution. What is the effects of green revolution? Green revolution give both types of effects like positive and negative. As we know that each coin has two sides, one is merits and other is demerits. Same as green revolution also give some benefits to the agriculture sector, and it also has some demerits or disadvantages. So first of all, we will discuss about what are the positive effects of green revolution in India. First of all, positive effects are number one is increased food production and self-sufficiency. After the introduction of green revolution, India became self-sufficient in food grains, and in India there is an increase in production and productivity level of land. So increased food production and self-sufficiency. After the introduction of green revolution, the cereal production nearly doubled from 1965 to 1995. Record grain output of 131 million tons in 1978-79. No other country in the world which attempted the green revolution recorded such level of success. India also became an exporter of food grains around that time. Yield per unit of farmland improved by more than 30% between 1975 and 1980. It created other employment by crop area under high yield varieties needed more water, more fertilizers, more pesticides, fungicides, and other chemicals. This spurred the growth of the local manufacturing sector. Such industrial growth created new jobs and contributed to country's GDP. Infrastructural development also made by after introduction of green revolution. Increase in irrigation created need for new dams and other ancillaries. So these are the positive effects of green revolution. Green revolution gave more and more advantages to Indian economy, and it became record success in India. But there are some disadvantages of green revolution also. Green revolution increased the gap between rich and poor farmers. It means poor farmers become more poorer and rich farmers become more richer due to the introduction of green revolution. Because poor farmers are unable to afford all the agricultural inputs in packaging way. And if poor farmers they don't have purchasing power, how they can use all the agricultural inputs, and poor farmers can't get any type of benefit from this green revolution. But rich farmers who have money, who can afford all these agricultural inputs which are very expensive, they are become more richer. So green revolution create inequalities of income and wealth in between of rich and poor farmers. Second thing is many small farmers are forced to give up farming indirectly. Some small farmers or marginal farmers are forced to give up farming indirectly by the introduction of this green revolution. The rich farmers become more wealthy. Green revolution has brought more environmental crisis due to heavy and more use of pesticides, insecticides, and chemical fertilizers. You know that chemical fertilizers and pesticides or insecticides badly impact on environment. So environmental crisis and health risk has brought more after the introduction of green revolution. And green revolution has have greatly depleted the world's fossil fuel. And green revolution gave advantages to only two main food crops like wheat and rice. Mainly, wheat production has increased after the introduction of green revolution, so that we can say that green revolution is also known as wheat revolution. But other crops, cereals, spices were not increased after the introduction of green revolution. So green revolution create the gap between rich and poor farmer, and green revolution give advantages to only some limited areas like UP state, Haryana and Punjab take more and more advantages after the introduction of green revolution, but other states did not get any type of advantages. And green revolution give advantages to only wheat and rice crops, not other food crops and other commercial crops. And green revolution has brought more environmental crisis and health risk also. So these are the disadvantages of green revolution. Next is need for second green revolution. According to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, if all Indians have to have good nutrition and plenty of food, then India needs 360 million tons of food grains by 2020. India has tremendous export potential in agriculture in present era of globalization, because first green revolution give advantages to only wheat and rice crop, mainly basically of wheat production has increased after the introduction of first green revolution, but other food crops and other cereals and pulses and spices not increased during the time period of green revolution. So India need second green revolution for increase in all these crops and all these production of all these things like pulses, spices, and other non-food crops also. So India need second green revolution. Next is in India, agriculture productivity is very low. Why agriculture productivity is low and what are the causes of low productivity in India? So India ranks among the lowest countries in the world on productivity of most major crops. Huge waste of water resources, damaging crop productivity, increasing soil salinity, and aggravating water shortages. 80% of India's water use in is for irrigation. So in India, agriculture productivity is very low due to three main causes. Causes of low productivity in agriculture sector. So what are the main causes? We can classify the causes of low productivity in agriculture sector into three parts. One is general cause, second is institutional cause, and third is technical cause. First is general cause. In general causes, we include social environment, heavy pressure of population on land, third is land degradation, and fourth is inadequate infrastructure. If a social environment is not adequate for agricultural production, then definitely agriculture production will remain lower. In India, there is a heavy pressure of population on land because more than 50% of the country people are dependent on agriculture sector for employment and 70% people are living in rural areas. If population increases uh, at higher rate than land area, because in India there is a very less land area. India has only 2.4% land area, but pressure of population is very higher. You know that India is second most largest populated country in the world after China. China has 7% land area. Geographical land area, China has 7%, but India has only 2.4%. If land area will remain constant, but the population will increase day by day, then land area will divide it into small pieces of land area, and land area will be fragmented or scattered, and scattered and small piece of land area we can't grow more and more crops, so that productivity will remain lower. So this is the main cause of low productivity, heavy pressure of population on land. And land degradation is also responsible. In India, there is a deforestation, due to deforestation and for making residential purposes, land areas using for more and more residential and factories or industrial sectors. That's why forests are trees are cutting at a very rapid rate. Land is degrading. That's why fertility of soil and fertility of land is decreasing. That's why productivity remains lower. And inadequate infrastructure facilities are also responsible for lower productivity in agriculture sector. Next is institutional causes. Institutional causes will include land tenure system. Before independence, jamidari system were exist in India. Britishers appointed jamidars who are called middlemen and who take rent, heavy rent from the farmers and give it to Britishers, and in between they take their income. They are called middlemen, and they exploited more and more farmers. That's why productivity or farmers were discouraged to produce more crops, and land productivity remains lower. So land tenure system, size of holdings. In India, there is a very small size of holdings. That's why due to small piece of land area or scatteredness of fragmented land area, productivity still remains lower. Lack of infrastructure facility and deficiency of investment. In agriculture sector, private investors are not interested to invest their money in agriculture sector, because agriculture is the gamble of monsoon, and agriculture is the natural occupation. It depends upon nature. Nature may be favorable or may not be. That's why there is a deficiency of investment. That's why productivity remains lower. Next is technical causes. In India, there is a poor techniques of production in agriculture sector, and farmers are still illiterate. They don't know how to use modern technologies and advanced technologies like thresher, tractor, harvester, and other technologies. And techniques are also very expensive, and farmers are very poor. They are not able to afford to these technologies which is necessary for the increase in production of the agriculture sector. Inadequate irrigational facilities and environmental degradation is also responsible for the low productivity in agriculture sector. Next is first is natural factor. Agriculture in India is dominated by nature, especially by rainfall. It is said to be gamble of monsoon. There may be other natural calamities or be falling on Indian agriculture, such as hailstorm, frost, or attack by insects. These seriously handicap the Indian farmers in stepping up agricultural output. And in India, agriculture is the subsistence farming. Here is subsistence farming system also exists. A large majority of farmers keep to farming for raising food grains for their subsistence and for their own livelihood, and therefore they do not produce for selling in the market. The productivity of such farms is bound to be low on account of the cropping pattern of the low prospects for the agriculture sector. Next is pressure of population on land. As I have discussed with you that in India there is a heavy pressure of population on land due to heavy population. In India, land area is divided into small pieces. In India, 70% people were dependent on agriculture. The number has gone up to 58.80 crore. So per capita, cultivable land had reduced from 0.43 hectare to 0.23 hectare. In India, there is a large number of marginal farmers who have less than 1% hectare of land area. So, due to heavy pressure of population, has led to subdivision and fragmentation of land holdings. That's why productivity remains lower. And technical factors we include traditional methods of cultivation. At present, some farmers are using old and traditional methods for cultivation, old implements, insufficient irrigation facility. They are not using tube wells and they are still dependent on canals, rivers, ponds, and wells, etc. And they are still dependent on monsoon, and there is a problem of soil, problems of pest and diseases of crops, feeble cattle, and lack of credit facility. Farmers are poor. They are still taking loans from non-institutional sources like mahajans, sahukars, or private um, businessmen or entrepreneurs. They are taking from loans from those persons who are taking more and more interest to the farmers. Lack of because institutional sources of loans or institutional source of finance has so many paperwork or so many formalities which poor farmers or illiterate farmers can't fill. That's why they are dependent for money on still on non-institutional sources who take more interest and provide only for small scale loan. Lack of high yielding variety seeds and improper marketing is the main technical factors which are responsible for the low productivity in agriculture sector. And next is major challenges in agriculture sector. What are the major challenges in agriculture sector? The major challenges are: number one is raise and sustain agriculture growth. First challenge is, if we want to increase agricultural sector growth and sustain growth, then we must do some efforts and we must focus on those policies which are necessary for the growth in agriculture sector, which enhance the income level and employment level in agriculture sector, which ensure food and nutrition security, and adapt to climate change, adjust to changes in energy scenario, maintain biosafety and biosecurity, make sustainable use of natural resources, protect biodiversity, and we should use organic farming for protecting our climate or environment and adjust to global shocks. So these are the major challenges in agriculture sector. Next is industries and agriculture sector are interdependent on each other. How agriculture sector and industries are interdependent? Agriculture provides raw material to the industrial sector, and industrial sector converted raw material into finished goods. That's why agriculture sector is the main source of raw material, and the source of raw material for industries comes from agriculture sector. For example, sugar cane for sugar industry, animal skin for leather industry, dairy products also require raw material that comes from agriculture. So, most of the industries are dependent for raw material on agriculture sector. That's why we can say that industries and agriculture sector are interdependent on each other and they are interlinked with each other. Next is conclusion. Now, while area expansion contributed significantly to pre-green revolution growth, gains in agriculture productivity was a major factor for realizing output growth in the post 1965 period. Except for wheat, output growth uh, rate could not be maintained despite the adoption of modern agricultural technology. Although in rice, the productivity picked up a little later, but the extension of area under high yielding variety did help to boost production of rice after 1980-81. The growth rate in food grain was, however, maintained at a level of 2.2% per year, mainly because of high growth rate of 5% in wheat. So we can say that green revolution gave more advantages to Indian economy. Thank you.